I want to ask you about.
Sounds terrific. Okay, welcome everyone to our Family Engagement Committee meeting. Glad that you are all here. Please put your name and site in the chat if you haven't done so already. And we will share the agenda and I'll let Miss Billy Stone take it away.
Good morning, all. This is my first kind of go around on this, so be patient with me. We have like several things we're going to talk about this morning. The committee mission, and I believe the committee focuses on strategies for family engagement, including identifying and sharing of best practices. Yesterday, I did a little research on the guide to family engagement, and that was this really big package that I downloaded. And then I tried to do some similar things that we did on yesterday's communications committee. And that's something I wanted to talk to you about, Heidi, as well as Vic and the rest of the team. So bringing this to the fold, the 1, 2, 3, 4 items that we really wanted to discuss today regarding the engagement committee was the social emotional support, how to best support families going through this trauma. Now that's a difficult one to kind of focus on, because there's just so many different parts of social and emotional within individual, within family, within organization, within faith. The second piece of the puzzle is how to communicate with parents in a more personal manner. The facts that out of school time programming is designed to be safe, interactive, meeting their needs as a student and as a family. That's another big piece of the puzzle with this. Also, ideas for engaging families virtually and in person, a fun and interactive way. Now, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes that virtual and one-on-one is kind of difficult for if you're going to go through the whole circle of the whole family. And you kind of have to do a lot of strategy and within your organization, I believe. Ideas for engaging family virtually. Virtually and in one-on-one, a fun and interactive way. Well, in that perspective, I believe that we can use some of the activities that we do within our programs and have a parent night similar to that they have in the school systems, like music night, basketball night, those kinds of things to kind of draw parents in. And that too, with out of school activities, is a little difficult, because in the situation that we're in, a lot of our families work after school and on Saturdays and Sundays. Well, unfortunately, that may not be a priority to work with or get involved with their student activities. And then the fourth bullet was to revisit and edit or update the family engagement guide. And that's something that I was attempting to do. And as I talked to John, he basically said that that's something that the whole committee should be working on. I get that. And also, I'm going to say a lot of times that certain people are busy, and this unfortunately falls by the wayside. And I presume that's why we as a committee are here to relook at this one-on-one and pull out exactly what we need. Because yesterday, the communications committee, they did a great, I'm on that committee, by the way. They did a great presentation. I didn't do it on putting together this big document into a 2-pager, 2.5-pager. And that too is difficult, because you're looking at, well, once the committee goes on and looks at this whole process, this whole packet, if you will, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really kind of difficult to squeeze down in a 2-page or a 2.5-page document. And then you have to think about how many of our folks do not like to get into this family engagement piece basically because it's hard to talk with parents. It's hard to get those parents involved. What do you got to do? How do you got to do it? And we don't have, we use our part, you know, you can use partners, you can use the 21st century monies, you can do a lot of things with that, but it's still a difficult process. And how do you jump that hurdle, Vic and Heidi and committee? I don't know, because we've been working on this for years and years and years. And it's kind of like working your magic for a lesser way of putting how much magic do you have? Because we've been talking about this ever since I've been in this committee. But with that being said, and those 4 bullets that we have to kind of talk about and maybe section out to each committee member, that might be the best way to go for you to look at this and figure out which is the better definition of what the family engagement should be. Naturally, we need to have the mission statement. That's natural. And I'm going to be quiet from there. I don't know if people have really pulled that document up and looked at it.
Well, let me help you guys out a little bit.
Thank you.
The requirement for family engagement is to inform, number one, parents about the program and what their children are doing in that program.
Mm-hmm.
That's the primary thing. And, you know, it's easy to add a lot of stuff on there that's not the basic requirement. There might be some confusion with the family engagement guide because the guidance I wrote is called a guide to family engagement. So you're really only going to do an overview. So somebody new to the committee has an idea of what family engagement the committee does. And the communication committee, you know, they did an excellent job yesterday, just providing a quick overview.
Yes, sir.
What I've found from my experience is parents love to hear something good about their kids, you know, and a lot of times they have the experience that they didn't do well in school, and they figure that if they're being called into school, it's because somebody wants to tell them some things that their kid did wrong.
Yes, sir.
You know, so try to frame this up that when you have family engagement meetings, you can say something positive, like maybe give a certificate out for the kids that they had, they improved on their attendance, you know, or they improved on their reading or their math, or they were, you know, a wonderful helper and they helped the program and did some things. We want to uplift these kids because it's critical to their long-term success is that they learn that they can be successful in something.
Good point. So Vic, let me ask you this question again. So with the family engagement guide that you put together, basically what we're doing now is, help me out, staff. Basically what we're doing now is rewriting it so it's an easier document to read.
No, not at all. You don't have to touch
Okay.
that. You're just doing an overview of the committee.
Okay.
It could be a one-pager, you know, that just says, here, this is what we do on the committee. We talk about, you know, how to bring parents in to the meetings. We talk about ways to provide positive things that the kids are doing. We will partner maybe with community colleges to provide information about, you know, adult education classes that are available. You know, so just a real basic thing about what the committee does.
Okay. Does anyone would like to interject some things that maybe your site does, so we can kind of put them in the notes piece? Thank you, Mr. Vic.
Oh, anytime.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. It's John Spinks. So, Billy, I think one of the things is I just listening what Vic said, and I think trying to get parents involved. There's a lot of questions that they may have about programs itself, and maybe just kind of coming up with a basic, such as how do you get your child enrolled in the program? Is there transportation involved? Being able to talk about how we structure our after school programming or classrooms, maybe talking a little bit about and I think for us, and we were in a management team yesterday, and just kind of talking about the various family components that our program offers, such as affordable housing. A lot of our families may be dealing with some language barriers. So are there ELL classes available? Check mark, yes. Mobility issues, maybe learning how to use public transportation. We also have the driver's ed card. So anyway, just some of those bullets type things. And I think what we talked about yesterday, yes, it is a program that focuses on the children, but it also focuses on the entire family and what their needs are. Because I think one of the things we've really been trying to focus on is how do we get those individuals more involved, not only with their child's day-to-day learning, but once they leave a structured program such as the school and a program that we offer, are there other supports that we can offer the family as they come back home to the parents? So I think those are maybe some of the basic things that when we kind of do this, we can maybe use that as a guide. And I don't know, Heidi, are we on track with saying that? I think, just trying to keep it simple and just trying to give parents, let them know truly what the programs are about and all of the things that are offered, not only for the kids, but for the adults involved.
Yeah, 100%, John. I think that's great and very needed and will be beneficial. And also, I think we are looking to create a document for this committee as well, and for potentially new committee members about with a lot of that same information about what this committee actually does and the benefits of it and the things that they can expect if they were to join, that type of thing. So these two documents that we're talking about, I think can definitely work hand in hand. And I know, Billy, you were on the committee yesterday with the communications committee. And Elena has done a wonderful job of putting that together for their committee. And I think that we could all use that as a template.
Right.
And we could certainly use it here on the Family Engagement Committee as a template as well, and make tweaks that work,
Yes.
for you guys, for sure. They are working on kind of polishing, and Billy, they're going to polish that, give it a last look, and then share it with everybody. And then we could use that here. And John, you could use that here to lead discussion on what we would want to include. Yeah.
Thank you. We kind of started that process. And John and I will have to revisit how we did that, because and maybe if we can put out Elena's, just kind of share between us, that would be a good guideline for us. Thank you. And if any of the committee members have suggestions, I hope that maybe you can forward them either to Heidi or John or myself, and we can kind of put that information together, because I think every program is unique, and we just don't want to have this document just focusing on the urban look. We want to have the whole piece of the puzzle, everyone input on how this communications piece should look like. Because like John says, I mean, we're a different breed of organization. We have people who live on this campus, and we work with those kiddos, and we do have direct contact with the parents, the school, and it's a little different. Okay, so if folks would just chime in and put in a little addendum or a anecdote on what they feel would be good, that would be really, really appreciated, if that makes sense. Vic, do you have any extra, or John, do you have any extra information you'd like to share, or any committee members would like to chime in?
Well, one thing that I want to mention is in Iowa, we have one of the nation's highest percentage of both parents working. And so when you have families in poverty, that's magnified further. So you may have both parents working, and maybe one of the parents has 2 jobs. So, you know, it's hard to get them to come to these family engagement meetings, but they'll make the effort if you're celebrating their children in a positive way. And another thing to think about is, you know, can you provide a meal? Because if they're coming to this meeting, they may not have time to feed the kids, you know, and tell them bring the whole family, and, you know, maybe have some kind of a potluck or spaghetti dinner or something. And, you know, make these as celebrations, and that should help. But, you know, it's a long haul. You know, we're not going to wave a magic wand and, you know, 6 months later, everything is going to be, you know, because these are families that are struggling, and we want to do our best to help them.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. Are there any open? Well, we've talked about the review family engagement guide. We've talked about the family ideas, tips, and suggestions, and I'd like to thank all of you for that. Recent success stories, highlights, and obstacles, barriers to success. Just could we hear from other folks in the program and in the committee that maybe have some stories or highlights or obstacles?
Oak 1, we are all clear.
Yeah, I would be happy to share a few of the things that we have done in Dubuque at St. Mark Youth Enrichment. I am very new, especially to St. Mark. I have actually only been there employed just not even a year yet. I have been on the committee for a few months, and so I have been taking in a lot of the things and a lot of the suggestions throughout. And what's been really important to me is being able to create some sort of plan for our family engagement throughout this next year, so that we aren't all of a sudden, oh, we need to do a family night. So one thing that we were really excited to start planning this past fall, which was a really good success, was just a welcome night for our families. It was a week before program started, and our situation is we have 6 sites. 3 of them are in Dubuque, and then 3 of them are in our Western Dubuque school system. So each of those schools are actually, one of them is a half an hour away, one of them is 20 minutes, and then the one is about 15. So we're kind of spread out. So we send people to all of those areas. But what was really great is we sent all of our individual site staff and our program coordinators a week early on one of the evenings, just at the regular time of what program would be. We invited the families to stop in. They could be there for 10 minutes. They could be there for 2 hours if they wanted. They got their kids to be comfortable with the space, with their staff members, with where they're going to go to the bathroom when they're there, and who they're going to ask to be able to do those things, and just meet those safe space people. And we heard so many good things from each of our sites, and how helpful that actually was, because I know one of our students came in, and she was actually a student last year, but being a new kindergartner now and not a preschooler, she was it was a new nervous situation. So she was able to meet us again and remember like, oh yeah, I did spend last year with you. And now this is going to be an okay space. And so last year we did that kind of small scale. And then this next fall, we are planning on offering a meal, like you said, Vic, just because we did have families come in, we offered some snacks, but if we wanted them to be there longer and if we wanted them to be able to spend more time and have more of those quality conversations, we do feel that that meal would be helpful. So we're planning that for this next fall.
Great.
Billy,
Yes.
I know this morning Heidi and I received an email from Christine Carlson. Is Christine on with us this morning?
Yes, John, I'm.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Christine, is that something, and maybe I'm behind that you've already shared that, but would you like to share the information that you sent to us?
I did drop it in the chat as well, Christine, and you're
Okay.
muted right now.
All right, thanks.
Christine, we can't hear you.
Yeah, you're muted still.
Can you hear me now?
There we
Yes.
Okay. I found this trauma toolkits for educators, but I went through it and found, kind of trash and treasure through it. But there's a lot of really good ideas and support in there and things that we can do for our families. And when you look through that download there on page 25, there's an actual section just for parents and families and guardians. It really gave me some good ideas. And so kind of just go through it. Like I said, trash and treasure, find what works for you and adapt it to your program. And then also, there's some samples of the local college here, and everybody that has a local college around them, it's free. You can have for your parents. They can finish their high school diploma. They can get English learning classes. And all you have to do is get the attendance sheet, and you can have that go towards your family literacy, which is part of all of our grants. So that is something you could do too. And then that makes a connection. I had parents that they were so appreciative of that because they don't, get that information or whatever. So I have it out at family nights. I have it out at when we have the conferences, open houses. I have all that kind of information for the parents, plus, all the connection for them to be able to reach their teachers or reach us, reach the after school program, because a lot of them are so busy that they don't have that information. So that really helps. And then what I was going to share with you guys is one of my successes with that is when we have our family school nights, I piggyback off that and have our after school program have that the same night. And then what I do is I go to local resources in the community, like DHS, dentists, all these different things, Hy-Vee, their catering, their cooks, they come in and they give out free food and samples how to make granola bars. I mean, everything, there's no limit. I had like 25 tables. And when the parents come in for the family night, they just can go in there and engage with the people there, get free stuff, get information, everything from how to do their taxes to, domestic support if there's abuse. I mean, it's unlimited. We all have resources in our community, and those people really like to come and share that with the families. That has really been a big thing where I actually got some people that were kind of not happy about it because all the parents are spending time down there instead of going to the classrooms. But it was a good thing for our after school program.
Awesome. Anyone else would like to share?
So just want to share just some updates about programming with our with Edmonds Elementary and Des Moines Public School and Hy-Vee. On Tuesday, we started Kids in the Kitchen program, which they can provide programming to up to 50 kids. And part of that is they take it and split it in half. So They teach the kids how to make nutritious snacks. And hopefully that's something that will pay off at home because they just use, everyday items that they have. And then while half of the students are in participating in that, the other half are in the gymnasium getting some exercise and learning how to, stretch and different things like that. So it's a 1 day a week, and it's on a Tuesday, and it's provided by Adult Ed. And so we're happy to be partnering with that. And then we're also working on bringing a dance. It's called break dance. So just trying to add some different things. And I think, again, trying to provide different opportunities for students to be involved because our enrollment is picking up. And so just some different opportunities. But again, a little bit off of Christine, Hy-Vee is a great partner to come in and do some freebies. So.
Thank you, Mr. John. Anyone else would like to share? Well, are there any open agenda updates? John, you need to be unmuted. Thank you.
I had asked Heidi to add a couple of items onto the agenda. It is February and summer is not that far away. But one of the things that we wanted to do a little bit different this year than what we've done in the past is maybe start talking about summer programming. And we know sometimes that can be a challenge, for individuals who kind of live in some of the rural areas. And maybe it's a great opportunity for us to start trying to share resources that are available. And I think the sooner we start doing this, hopefully the more successful we can be about trying to get other partners in. And I think we can kind of take a look at some of as our partnership list, some of the partners that we have, whether it be an urban area or a rural area, and just trying to share those opportunities, with the rest of the group to ensure that we have a successful summer program. So that's just one item. The other that I asked Heidi to put on was summer youth employment. Last year we had, with our funding stream of partners, we had a total of about $210,000 provided to us to provide summer program or summer employment internships. We started out, we had about 100 applicants that applied. We had enough funding to place about 70 youth on jobs. And at the end of the summer, we ended up, I think, with about 59, that actually went start to finish. But one of the things that I do want to offer up is for those who are in the Des Moines area, it's going to be a great opportunity for us to kind of partner and bring some of those youth in so we can hopefully get them employed for the summer. We do an 8 to 9 week program with them. We have an orientation. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is because we are bringing on a coordinator starting the 1st of February. And if people are interested in receiving information, I want to be able to send that out. So again, two things. Number one, it assures that youth will be in something productive and constructive, throughout the summer, but also the financial benefit that is provided. So they learn how to do budgeting. They learn how to open up accounts. What we have is we call Learn and Earn, where there's an educational component attached, to this. We do what we call Good Fridays, Working Fridays, where we do activities where we get it out. And a couple of years ago, we did things with DMAC. and we went to all of the DMAC campuses. Well, not all. We went to Des Moines, we went to Ankeny, we went to Boone, and each one of those offered a different opportunity. So we will have that. But I do want to open this up to community partners around here, that this year we are going to look at providing internships or job opportunities anywhere from 75 to 100 youth. So that's why I wanted to kind of get this on the agenda. So again, if you're serving that age group, and the age group is going to be 14 to 21, if you've got some college students that come within your area, we would love to have them come make an application and apply. So, and this is something that I wanted to do a little bit different because we haven't always done this, but I just think, as you know, we listen to some of our partners who aren't as fortunate to have all of the resources that some of the urban programs have, just talking about how we can support those who don't have all of those opportunities, and maybe there's other ways that we can support them in creating a successful summer program. So.
That's good.
Mhm.
Hey, last year there was a shortage of lifeguards. And if you've got some high school kids that qualify age-wise, there's a training, I think the Y offers it, it's like $100 or something like that. You can pay for their training with the 21st Century if they're in your program, or, you know, but they have to be in your program to make that a legitimate expense.
Yeah.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Vic, and along with that, for the last couple of years, we've had a great partnership with Parks and Recs, and we've been able to place youth in the community in the parks that could also work at the splash pads, but they also provided us opportunities to get lifeguards trained, and the city of Des Moines Parks and Recs would actually pay for that. And again, there has been a shortage. So if we can get people, you know, who are interested in doing that, you know, send them this way, and we've got a direct connect with Parks and Recs here in Des Moines to get that training paid for free. So.
Thank you. Anyone else out here that would like to do some sharing? Greatly appreciated.
Well, I put it in the chat box, but I'll go ahead. This is Christine. Having a parent come in and cook a snack or a meal has always been a hit. And then the kids are also exposed to other traditional foods that they're not, you know, usually getting at home. And the program pays for the supplies. And the kid that has a parent come in, they just shine for a whole week. You know, they're so proud of that. And then I've also had a parent that is a paramedic here in our town. He actually brought the ambulance in and taught the kids first aid on the mannequin, and they got to get in the ambulance and do all that kind of stuff. And it's like, if you find a parent that, you know, and that helps him out at his job too. If you can kind of find out what they do for a career or a job when you talk to them when they come in for their kids, see if they like to do that, or, you know, do an instructional thing, or just come in and do something. That really opens a lot of doors for the parents, feel them welcome, and a good experience for the kids also.
Excellent. We got to try that. Okay, is there any other comments that we would like to make before I turn it back over to Heidi and Vic and John?
For the new people too, I mean, this, we've heard this before and stuff. All of us have been here for a while, but like donuts for dads, or, you know, graham crackers with granny, you know, and make like s'mores, or, you know, something with your graham crackers, anything that gets, you know, people in the door besides just the traditional mom and dad, because a lot of the kids are being raised by either their grandparent or guardian or even foster care, you know.
Yeah.
So fun, you know, something different just to put it out there and try to get them in the doors. And that's a short little visit too, where they just connect and it, you know, they don't feel real obligated and they're not, you know, taking up their day or whatever.
I like that too. That's nice. John, I have nothing more to share at this point. So I'm just kind of wondering, do I just go ahead and turn it over to Heidi?
Take it away, Heidi.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and we can wrap up for this morning. Elva, why don't you go ahead and stop our recording?